because the results I've seen in myself are enough for me to not be ashamed to tell my patients about Synthesit, to say that there is such a drug. This year, I'm working without days off again, how was before. And again, I'm still alive. And well, too. Apparently, yes, I have more energy, but when you're asked point blank, they say that heartburn goes away with Synthesit. Is that true or not? You think, yes, really? I don't remember the last time I had heartburn.
As for herpes, yeah, let's say for 2 years I haven't had herpes. It's noticeable, yeah, but if it doesn't show up, don't think about it, you know? So when it does show up, by the way, I also haven't had herpes in a long time. Yeah, it doesn't happen often, but I used to have heartburn too, the same thing until it showed up, right? So when something bothers us, we go, oh man, I'm bothered by heartburn. I need to do something about it urgently. Yeah, think I'll reach out to a doctor I know. I'll go see about my illness. There, I'll read what's on the internet. When you don't have heartburn, you don't think about anything when you take Synthesit. And you don't have heartburn. Make sure to pay attention to this. You no longer have heartburn, your digestion has improved, and your bowel movements are regular as well. I haven't had heartburn for 2 years either. It's like, well, that's a really significant fact. It's actually encouraging, but when you don't pay special attention to it, you don't notice it. Great, super, you have awesome results. You as a doctor, a person who has received... Hello dear viewers, we are on the Synthesit channel. My name is Alexander. If you're interested in the topic of health, maintaining health, boosting your vitality and energy, then stay tuned and watch this video until the end. Why? Because today we have a rehabilitation doctor as our guest. Hello, Pavel.
Hello. Yes, I'm a doctor. I graduated from medical university, specializing in therapeutic structure, sports medicine, and I've been working in the field of rehabilitation for about 15 years. Health. Recently, I've also switched to the fitness field.
Yes, I see you have some balls behind you, so you must be at work right now. Yes, dear viewers, we have very little time with Pavel because he's a busy person, as you can see. He has both medicine and fitness, all of it together. Pavel, please tell us how you came to Synthesit, why you decided to give it a try. What made you decide to try Synthesit? How long ago was that, and how long have you been taking it? So what results do you have? And the most interesting part will be, of course, I'd like to hear your perspective as a doctor on what you observe in yourself.
I came to Synthesit very simply. I am generally quite skeptical about any supplements, but my classmate's husband is the brother of one of the creators of Synthesit. And so when friends told me that, yes, indeed, they were taking it and it seemed to be great and they had some really interesting results, I said, okay, give me a couple of fingers. I'll give it a try too. Yes, indeed, we take it and it seems great. And here are some really interesting results. I said, okay, give me a couple of fingers. I'll give it a try too. When I started taking it, I noticed, well, I couldn't help but notice that I really had more strength. And I noticed this very simply. I've been tracking my sleep for a long time, and suddenly, a couple of months later, I discovered that I'm consistently sleeping an hour less.
Dear viewers, Pavel said he tracks his sleep. I don't use that kind of service, but as far as I understand, tracking means you have some kind of bracelet?
Yes, I have a program that measures how much I sleep and the quality of my sleep. I always sleep with high quality because I'm either working or sleeping. Well, yes, indeed. And indeed, I found that I started sleeping less while still maintaining enough energy. In addition, I can confidently say that I've been getting colds less often. This made me incredibly happy because every cold disrupts your work schedule. And here I really found that I got sick 3 times in the little over a year that I've been taking Synthesit. 3 times. Out of those, I took breaks from taking it for 2. That was really funny. It was especially funny when I decided to take a break. I immediately got sick with a cold. Yeah. And a break, I got 3 weeks lying at home. I was sick for about 3 days, and then I waited. While my health started to decline, I stayed home like a law-abiding citizen. I have to say that many describe some consequences in the world of viruses. I'll be right back. I decided that I would wait for a negative test result, then I could start taking Synthesit. I started taking it and I didn't have any side effects, basically. On the second day after the negative test result, I was already back to training in my usual routine. I work in my usual routine, so I can't talk about the consequences. Maybe this was also related to taking Synthesit. Overall, in general, for a couple of years, I worked with 1 or even 2 days off. This year, I'm working without any days off again, just like it was before. This year, I'm working without any days off again, just like it was before. And again, I'm still alive and well. Apparently, yeah, I'm feeling stronger. That's great. from what we've also noted in conversations with friends, you live your life, don't really notice much. But when you're asked point blank, they say that this Synthesit disappears from the body. True or not? You think so? Yeah, really. I don't remember when I had my son, the last time I had heartburn, because before that I used to have heartburn occasionally. It's not like it was killing me or anything, but it did happen. And you really start to remember, when did I have heartburn? I don't remember. It was a long time ago that I had heartburn. So apparently there are some other effects just because I don't keep track constantly in my diary. Besides these two obvious effects, the increase in energy and the decrease in occurrences. When I caught a cold, I can't really say. Many others have also noted that. But the joints synthesize well, but I can't say much about that. My joints occasionally act up. It's hard to say how it would be without the Synthesit, because with the direct load on the joints in everyday life, they sometimes start to suffer.
Yes, you pointed out correctly that when something serious happens to a person, so you see, I started sleeping an hour less. It's like the tracker shows, you can already determine it. If there wasn't a tracker, how would you determine that? You won't notice that at all.
Yes, that's absolutely right.
And by the way, excuse me, dear viewers, what is an hour of sleep? An hour of life, really. So an extra hour of sleep is an extra hour in your life. So how much do you earn per hour at work? You might think some people say Synthesit is expensive. So what's your hourly wage? How much do you value an hour of your life? What will you get? When you start taking Synthesit, some people sleep 2 hours less and still feel well rested. It's also important to note that you sleep better. You wake up feeling refreshed, you immediately become productive, you don't need to stretch, drink, or take any additional stimulants because you already have Synthesit. And in general, the costs for Synthesit, they first of all pay off. First, you sleep less, and second, you eat less, because I can see it in myself perfectly. You need less food to feel full. And the feeling of hunger that arises in between meals, you feel it less, but that's just my personal experience. So pay attention to the changes you notice while using Synthesit, dear viewers. Keep a diary, of course, and pay attention to all the little details. So how often did you get sick before, and how has that changed now? Have you stopped getting sick when you take Synthesit? As for herpes, I haven't had it for 2 years. It's noticeable, but if it hasn't appeared, you don't think about it. You understand, right? So when it appeared for you?
I actually haven't had it in a long time either. Herpes.
Yes.
He didn't have it often, but it did happen. Yeah, and it burned the same way.
Yeah, the same with heartburn. So when something is bothering us, we go, oh man, I'm bothered by heartburn. I need to do something about it urgently. I'll go see a doctor I know, maybe visit the hospital or look something up online. When you don't have heartburn, you don't think about anything. When you take Synthesit and you don't have heartburn, make sure to pay attention to this. You no longer have heartburn, your digestion has improved, and your bowel movements are regular as well. I haven't had heartburn for 2 years either. It's like, well, that's a pretty significant fact. It's actually nice, but when you're on it, you specifically pay attention to this, you don't notice it, but you have really great results. You as a doctor are someone who has received medical education. Yes, so it's quite a rigid science. There are certain canons and there's a certain level of cynicism. Yes, that is including trust and distrust in some innovations. So as you can see, cynicism, skepticism, these wonderful medical jokes and so on. So how do you feel about it as a doctor? I understand that you seem to be a bit more of a progressive doctor than the others, and thankfully there are more and more people like that. How do you as a doctor feel about this? How do you as a traditional doctor view Synthesit? So, what does it mean for you?
I'm still evaluating how. I have interesting results myself. Well, the people I trust also have interesting results themselves. And we are slowly starting to recommend Synthesit for use. At first to my relatives and then gradually to my patients. We are starting to recommend it and gradually accumulating statistics, because the results I've seen in myself are enough for me to not be ashamed to talk about Synthesit to my patients, to say that there's this medication, that it possibly works really well and it's worth trying. That's something I can recommend to people quite reliably. Based on my experience, yes, I can't tell them that there is such a study. Take a look. But I can say that I tried it, I took it, and several other people I know personally took it and got good results. So it makes sense to give it a try.
Yes, agree. Dear viewers, if we're talking about research, then all the studies are available on our website. That's the most important thing, that there are studies on primates, macaques, and rhesus monkeys, where phenomenal results have been shown that no other substance, not even medical ones, can achieve. That's the most important thing, that there are studies. Primates, macaques, rhesus monkeys, where phenomenal results have been shown that no other substance, not even medical ones, can achieve. So what does it mean to lower the level of ALT, which is alanine aminotransferase, AST, which is aspartate aminotransferase, and cholesterol at the same time. Also in some monkeys, and actually up to a 40% reduction, So these are well-known indicators of aging as well as pathological processes. So when the liver gradually grades, these indicators, these enzymes increase. Alt est. The same one, and did we see in people before this experiment? What do we see in those same monkeys, which was signed with a seal in an official institution by different professors? Everything is done according to the agreement. So we see that Synthesit helped restore these enzymes to normal levels in a very short time. So the biochemistry of old monkeys has become like that of young ones for the most part. So that already says a lot. The biochemistry what of old monkeys became by and large like that of young ones. So that already says a lot. Yes, then on mice regarding stem cells before the research. And most importantly, dear viewers and Pavel, this is of course a huge practice of using Synthesit all over the world, which is what we see on our channel. As I mentioned, there are already a lot of reviews, a lot of feedback. On different sites, on our site Yandex Market is the same. Yes, there's a website for the dosage where people leave their results and recommendations. So we have many thousands of regular clients all over the world who say the same thing. So energy increases, you sleep less, allergies go away, and digestion improves. This is like a huge practice. So, as they say, research, 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 but practice on people is what really shows the most valuable results.
Yes, another funny case. We were talking about liver enzymes, which are markers of liver damage. So, what's interesting is that, well, it's clear that you can celebrate during the holidays, you can celebrate well, but don't know. In the last year, I really haven't had a hangover even once. I can't say that I checked often, but let's say drank about 5 times a year, and even when I drank quite a bit, either the whiskey was really good or the liver was restored. But no, I remembered that I woke up in surprise in the morning, and I realized that I felt significantly better than I thought I would feel.
Yes, true, yes. And again, it's like whether the sun is shining or it's summer or I've eaten fruits and vegetables and I don't know what Synthesit has to do with it. You know, dear viewers, but practice shows that those who take Synthesit no longer experience hangovers or they are much easier to handle. I can say the same about myself, just like Pavel. You wake up in the morning and it feels like yesterday, like you didn't do anything. But that doesn't mean we're urging you to go and try it on yourself right now. This effect happens if you take Synthesit. If you're taking Synthesit, minimize your alcohol consumption. In general, minimize your alcohol consumption. It's harmful. And when you take Synthesit, especially minimize it, your body will recover faster. And viewers, as you get older, hangovers become stronger. So when there are markers of aging, markers of the liver and so on. So a hangover is one of the signs of aging changes. And if it becomes easier, then a certain rejuvenation of the biochemistry occurs. That's also a sign. When you start taking Synthesit, you'll understand how it works, among other things. All right. Pavel, thank you very much for taking the time. I hope that we can maybe connect with you sometimes if it works out. Thank you very much for sharing your results. Thank you very much. If you have something to say to our viewers, you can give your final words to them.
Well, I wish the viewers, first of all, to be happy and healthy. First of all, to be happy, healthy. Well, give Synthesit a try. It might actually work. At least in my opinion, it makes sense to at least give it a try.
All right. Thank you very much for sharing your feedback. I wish you all the best. Dear viewers, if you liked this video and found it informative and helpful, please hit subscribe, like all that stuff. Goodbye, all the best.
All the best. Goodbye.